What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? I told y'all in several videos that they would probably do something like this in the next 10 to 15 years. And my call was that once they were both up and running again and successful again in bringing people in again, when they stopped doing the woke garbage again, they would probably do it then. But I never thought about this. Now, I haven't watched the video yet, but if they're really thinking about doing this really soon, it could be because they're floundering. And they absolutely need a huge win. So let's check this out and see what's going on here. Get over and follow Cosmic Wonder. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you.
Marvel and DC both individually have talked about in the past doing a Marvel-DC crossover. We've heard it's possible from Marvel's side. We've heard it's possible from DC's side. We've heard James Gunn, who is currently the co-head of DC Studios, say that they have talked about doing it 1 billion times. Those were his words. And now it sounds like the two of them are finally coming together to see if they can make it happen. And
here's my problem. Why now? To me, right now is the worst time. Because if they continue to do what they've been doing, bringing them together isn't going to help anything, I don't think. It could. I mean, I could see people turning up for Justice League versus, Avengers, whether it's woke or not. I can see people showing up for that, but it'll be nowhere near as big as they want it to be, I think, if they had done it, say, around the time of Infinity War and Batman v Superman. Around that time. Yeah. I don't know.
And according to a new report, they're working on it right now, and the Russo brothers themselves could even be involved. And if you really think about it, where the MCU is currently at, and what DC Studios have introduced to us already with their new...
Well, if they do a crossover, they better bring everybody back from DC that everyone liked. You know what I'm saying? Bring in Batfleck, Cavill, maybe even Bale. Do some type of multiversal stuff. Bring in Wonder Woman, Gal. You know what I'm saying? I know he's Lobo now, but bring him back. Bring Cyborg back. Bring them all back. You gotta bring RDJ back as Iron Man. You gotta bring back Chris Evans as Cap, Thor. You gotta bring everybody in for that.
Universe and Superman, now could actually be a pretty perfect time to do this big crossover. But we'll get into that. Let's first break down this new report. This is coming to us from Cosmic Book News. No relation to our channel, but they have had exclusive scoops in the past.
Yes, they have.
Now in an exclusive article and report titled DC vs. Marvel Movie Talks, Insider says Gunn and Russos are involved. They tell us what they recently heard. They state, at Comic-Con, a Hollywood insider told me there are active discussions happening about a DC vs. Marvel movie, and that both James Gunn and the Russo brothers are on board. Now we're going to get into Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, saying that this is possible and could happen, and James Gunn saying this can happen, but before you cast any really big doubts stating that this is not going to happen, they're not going to do this, think about it. Marvel Studios recently brought back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, not as Tony Stark, not as the person who started the MCU and ended the Infinity Saga, who was in it for over a decade, but as the new villain of the MCU. Now we're hearing talks that they might even want Robert Downey Jr. to play Dr. Doom post-Secret Wars. So before you think this is too crazy for them to do Marvel vs. DC, just think about that. Marvel Studios is willing to swing.
And I said before, it's coming. They've already done it in the in the comics before, period. So, it's coming. But I just didn't know when. That's why I said, I said in the next 10 to 15 years, I think it's going to happen. And that was like a year or two ago when I said it.
For the fences. And Marvel and DC have crossed over before in the comics. In fact, the insider who told Cosmic Book News this information pointed out the recent Deadpool and Batman comic crossover announcement as a sign that the intercompany collaboration is closer than anyone thinks. And what they're referring to is recently at Comic-Con, DC and Marvel did unveil a variant cover that has Deadpool on the cover with an Infinity Gauntlet, with characters from both franchises on the cover as well, like Batman and the Joker and Wonder Woman, Daredevil, Captain America. You can see all the characters right here. So Marvel and DC do play nice with each other. They know that fans would want to see this, but more importantly, the relationship between Marvel Studios and DC Studios is super tight right now because of who leads both studios, Kevin Feige and James Gunn. Because, of course, remember...
This is not the Superman I wanted to see crossover with Marvel. Oh, good God. But you know what? It's a Marvel Superman anyway. It's a Marvel Superman that we got turned up to 11 because of all the goofiness. And I've never complained about the jokes in any Marvel movie before. Oh, God.
James Gunn directed and wrote all of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. So James Gunn and Kevin Feige are super tight, and Kevin Feige even rehired James Gunn after the firing incident. So we have two people who are really...
The only saving grace that I have here is that the Russos are said to be involved.
Close with each other, heading the two different studios. And James Gunn even said in a recent interview when he got the job for DC, the first person he called was Kevin Feige. He told EW, as soon as I got that job, I made a couple of calls, and the first one was to Kevin Feige, telling him that I'm taking the job as head of DC. And they've both basically spoken nothing but great things about each other. And here's what James Gunn said just a couple of months ago, if even that, in a recent Rolling Stone interview for Superman. He said, and I quote, "We've talked about it 1 billion times. That could easily happen. But, simultaneous to that, I think it would be interesting. But I also think people are a little over it. I think people want to see good stories with their superheroes, and that's what matters. And they want to see different...
That's why I said I figured they'd do it once they both were on top again, or something like that, or catching their stride with good movies.
Types of stories with their superheroes, and people love superheroes. That's obvious, but they need more variety. They need just more quality storytelling. And just having Spider-Man and Superman team up isn't gonna do it if it's crap. So it's gotta come from...
You damn right, Gunn!
It's really hard to make that work. I did Superman because I loved the character, and I was excited about writing that movie. If I were to write a Superman versus Spider-Man movie, is it a concept I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this could be a great film? Or am I doing it because, oh yeah, people want to see Superman and Spider-Man team up? For me, it would have to be, if we ever did that, it would have to be under someone who thought it was going to be awesome and wasn't just a cash grab, because I'm just not into that. End quote. And on top of that, he said back in 2023 when directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I'm certain that's more likely now that I'm in charge at DC. Who knows? Just don't expect anything on that front line in the immediate future. That's many years away, though. I think we have to establish what we're doing at DC first. I would be lying to say that we haven't discussed it, but all discussions
Okay, so he wants to establish it. So, like I said, it could be in the next 10, 15 years.
Very light and fun. So he went from, we've discussed it, but it's been light and fun, to, we've talked about it 1 billion times. So it seems like over the course of 2 years, the conversations really have amplified. They've talked about it a lot more, and it sounds like they've been a lot more serious in their discussions as well. So this report from Cosmic Book News could very well be accurate. And like I mentioned in the beginning, this could be the perfect time to do it. Now, I definitely agree with what James Gunn said. I don't think you can just do it to do it.
You're damn right.
has to be really, really great. There has to be a good reason for it.
A great build-up, all that.
But that's actually one of the reasons why I think it could actually be really good right now, or at least in a few years. Right now, the MCU is in the multiverse saga, and although we've dove into the multiverse a little bit, a lot of people agree that they should have dove into it a lot more. I, for one, would have loved several different movies that showcased other universes, giving us a perspective from those other universes. So when everything kind of collapses and comes together in Avengers Secret Wars, we would have had a much better perspective on just how big this all was. Luckily, we got the Fantastic Four First Step. That took place in another universe, but it could have been utilized a lot more. But now the new DCU has started, and right out the gate, they have established pocket dimensions. Plus, we have the new trailer for Peacemaker Season 2, and they have established that the multiverse does exist. So right now, the two different franchises, DC and Marvel, have established their multiverses. It's kind of the perfect opportunity to dive into a universe that isn't their own, or a universe where all the heroes from both franchises exist together. Because I'm pretty sure after Avengers Secret Wars, which comes out December 17th of 2027, a little under 2.5 years away, I'm pretty sure after, Marvel Studios isn't going to really explore the multiverse too much, at least not for a while, because they are indeed isn't going to happen. A little under
Batman should be sitting up front.
Away. I'm pretty sure after, Marvel Studios isn't going to really explore the multiverse too much, at least not for a while, because they are indeed going to reset the MCU. This has been confirmed by Marvel Studios' president. Specifically, they said the timeline was going to be reset, so I'm pretty sure they're going to just focus on that timeline, because now they're...
DC's got a Trinity. Does Marvel? If Marvel had a Trinity, I think it'd be Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Hulk. Yeah. Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Hulk, I think, are the Trinity of Marvel. Yeah. I'm not counting or thinking of anybody that became extra popular after the movies. I'm talking about comics-wise. Yeah, I think those are like their three most popular characters. Yeah.
They're going to have a new X-Men team, completely new characters. Kevin Feige confirmed they are eventually going to recast Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow and probably a lot of others, and we'll have the Fantastic Four in this universe moving forward as well. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to focus on this one new universe. So if you're going to do some big multiversal event, the time is now. Or perhaps maybe even right after Avengers Secret Wars. You can tell kind of like a side story. Maybe use Deadpool and Wolverine for it. Again, I do agree with James Gunn. The story has to be great. There has to be a good reason for it. But if there was ever a time to figure out a great story for it, it's definitely now. Now is the time.
So you start weaving it now together.
A decent amount of time. And maybe that would be for the best. We could get a new Avengers team established, an X-Men team established, the Justice League would be established with Batman and Wonder Woman. And this report does say that if this comes out, it probably won't be till 2030. And maybe that's for the best. Maybe taking their time on this is what they really need to do. But it sounds like they are actively discussing it. When it will happen, who knows? But please,
it's 10 to 15 years from now.
Do you want to see this happen? Marvel versus DC? And if
yeah, I want to see it happen, but I want to see it done right. And as a fan, with everything going on both sides, it gives me a headache even thinking about it. But if they do it right, it could be the greatest moment of our lives. The greatest moment of our lives. 10 million subscribers.